There's a ton of social clubs. If you like sports like golf, maybe, or maybe you want to pick up the game of pickleball, which is very popular here, or maybe you play tennis, or maybe not a sport, but maybe like an activity like a book reading club, or a chess or checker club, or backgammon, or something like that. There's all kinds of groups, and when you're in large cities like Metro Manila, you're going to find those groups. Just go to Facebook and do a search on groups in hobbies and areas that you like, and then join those groups, and you're going to meet people. Hello herd, it's JJ the Lonely Bullinasia. We're going to take a walk in Greenway. It's a little walking path. About 2 weeks ago I did a video with 13 things to do before you leave your country for the Philippines. This video is about the 9 things to do when you land here in the Philippines. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so this is called Greenway. This is the very south tip of it, and it goes all the way up to the northern end of BGC. That's where I'm at, Bonifacio Global City in the NCR, which is the National Capital Region. Metro Manila, as you might know, but you can see it's nice and shaded area. It's not too hot today. Had some rain yesterday. So far, no rain today. Looks like it might. We had about a 2-hour shower yesterday afternoon from about 1:30 to 3:30, and then it cleared up and it was kind of nice the rest of the afternoon and evening. So today's topic, 2 weeks ago, like I said, I did a video, the 13 things you need to do before you leave for the Philippines. Now, hopefully you've got that. I'll put the link to that video at the end of this video so you have it in case you need to refresh yourself. This video is about what you do when you land. There's 9 things that you should probably do when you land in the Philippines. Some of them depending if you're staying short term, some of them if you're long term, if you're planning on a long-term stay. So make sure you stick around for number 9. It's very important if you're planning a long stay in a relationship. So number 1, if you haven't signed up for your eSIM card before you left, you can do that. If you want an eSIM, when you land in the airport, you can pick up a SIM card. Very simple. There's lots of kiosks all over the airport. You can just purchase one, and then you've got your SIM card. Now, I have an international plan for my US phone through T-Mobile. So my data works here in the Philippines. In fact, it works everywhere in Southeast Asia. Every country I land in, I get a message from T-Mobile that says, welcome to Thailand, welcome to the Philippines. Here's your data plan. And I have unlimited data and unlimited texting. And then they charge me 25 cents a minute for local phone calls, meaning local in the country I'm at. But I don't use that. I have a Philippine phone too, so if I need to make local calls, I use that phone. But, so you need to get one of those things. You need to either get a SIM card, get an eSIM, or use your international plan. That's one of the first things you do when you land. Next thing is I hope you brought some money with you, and go to one of the exchange places at the airport and exchange your money. And I wouldn't change all your money, just enough to get you through the next day or two until you can exchange it in town or wherever you're going to be, so you're not carrying a lot of that cash. But cash is king here, so just remember that you're going to need cash in a lot of places. So get your money exchanged enough to get you where you need to get, where you need to be, and that sort of thing. Number 3 on the list, when you are ready to leave the airport and you need a ride, that last video I told you to make sure you get your Grab app downloaded on your phone. And I'm just going to use Manila as a basis point. I know some of you may be flying into Cebu, maybe Clark, who knows, but I'll just use Manila because I'm more familiar with that. And I'll just assume for these purposes that you're flying into Manila and you're staying at least a night in Manila, okay? So use your Grab app, tell them where you want to go, tell them which bay you're being picked up from, so you can stand at that bay. There's usually I think there's like 10 of them, 9 or 10. So you can see the big sign, it says bay 1 through bay whatever. So just look to see what your car is, the license, and then just keep an eye out for it. And then easy peasy, lemon squeezy, you get your Grab. Grabs are going to be a little more expensive than taxis. So it's probably going to cost you anywhere from 350 to 450 peso for a Grab to get you from Manila Airport into wherever you're going in Metro Manila. Depending on how far you go and what time of day and day of week it is, it may vary. The other thing that you need to be aware of is if you want to take a taxi, it's going to cost you less money for a taxi. You might hear from a lot of vloggers, don't ever use a taxi, they'll scam you every time. Well, no, they won't scam you every time unless you allow them to. You just have to be careful. When you step out of the airport, you're going to get a lot of people asking you, sir, ma'am, may I get you a taxi? And you may think, oh, this is nice, they're helping me out. No, they're not helping you out. They're taking your money because they're going to scam you for a lot more money than what it normally would cost. So you want to find the metered taxis. That's where you want to go. So when you step out of the airport, take a immediate right and go down to the end where it says metered taxis, and there's a little kiosk or a little stand there with a person standing there, and they'll hand you a ticket. If there's a line, you'll wait in line, and when your taxi that corresponds with that ticket comes up, they'll tell you this is your taxi, and you get in that taxi. But you're not done yet, because sometimes the taxi driver will say, oh, meter's broke, or oh, there's lots of traffic, I need to charge you extra. Don't go for that. Tell them meter only. If they refuse, then just get out of the taxi and get the next one. They're going to try to pull that on you. Some of them, most of them will be okay with the meter, so you'll be fine. But just make sure you use the meter taxi. Number 4 on the list when you get here, travel insurance. If you're staying short term, you can get that travel insurance relatively inexpensive. What I do is I go to squaremouth.com, and you have a lot of options, and you just pick the option that works best for you. Whether it's however long you're staying, put your age in there, put what kind of coverage you need or want, and then it'll spit out the calculations and tell you what your premium is going to be for that extent, for that length of time. If you're planning on staying here permanent or long term, you may want to look into other health insurance options. And I no longer sell insurance, so I'm not going to give you any recommendations, but there are places around here that will help you, and you just have to look them up. I don't have any first-hand knowledge to any reliable health insurance plans here in the Philippines. I would check with your local insurance company. Maybe they have an international plan that you can attach onto. Those are things that I would look at. That's number 4. Number 5 on the list, your hotel or your Airbnb. If you're hunting for a permanent location here in the Philippines, go to the place where you want to live long term. And what I would do is I would rent, or not rent, but get a hotel room or maybe an Airbnb for 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. And while you're staying there, you can look at these condos that you're looking at renting long term, and you can look at them in person, because the worst thing you could do is sign a long-term lease without seeing the place in person, because many times the pictures online do not fully represent what you're actually getting. So just be aware of that. So what I would do is maybe go to places like Marketplace on Facebook or RentPad. Those are a couple of really good places for looking for condos in the area you want. And then maybe reach out to them, those owners or the agent, whoever's posting that ad, and tell them you will be in this Philippine city on such and such date, and you want to set up some viewings. So I would schedule maybe a half a dozen viewings. I wouldn't schedule any more than that. The mistake I made when I first moved here, when I was looking at condos, I looked at 30, and they all ran together, and by the end I couldn't remember which one was which, so it was very confusing to keep track. So I would just keep it down to 6, and if you find the one you like, then go for it. And like I always say, everything is negotiable here. So if you're looking at a condo you really like and they're asking 40,000 peso a month, see if they'll take 35. You know, if they're asking for a 2 months advance and 2 months deposit, ask them if they'll do 2 months advance and 1 month deposit, or 1 month advance and 1 month deposit. It doesn't hurt to negotiate. These owners and these agents are used to negotiating with their condos, so they're expecting that. They'll post their prices a little higher than normal because they know they'll probably go down on those prices. So negotiate. A lot of them will say they need post-dated checks. I will not do post-dated checks. There is no way I will do that, and I'll tell them I'll do electronic payment transfers, and I do that through Wise, and most of them are okay with that. So, but just negotiate. Like I said, everything's negotiable. But I would stay in a hotel or an Airbnb for 5 days to a week, and so you can look around and find the condo you want long term, and you can see those places in person. All right, number 6, get a VPN on all your phones, your laptop, anything you use, because it will help you in a number of ways, actually. So, if you have Netflix at home, or if you have Prime, Amazon Prime, and you like watching movies, or you have YouTube TV or whatever, if you're here in the Philippines and the whatever you use to watch those things on, whether it's your laptop or a phone or whatever, without a VPN, it's going to look like you're not in the country, and most of the time it won't accept that. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. So using a VPN, you can change your settings so it looks like you're back in your home state or home country or wherever. So that's one reason. Another reason is if you go on your laptop to do any purchases, maybe you want to get something on Amazon shipped to you, and you're using your credit card, or anytime you use a credit card, if it looks like you're in another country, you may get rejected. So using that VPN will be a safeguard, and it's also safe too. VPNs help protect your security a number of ways. So just check into a VPN. I use ExpressVPN, but I don't necessarily want to promote or anything. I'm not getting paid or anything like that, but there's several different ones you can use. Just whatever one you like, just use that. Number 7 on the list of things to do when you land in the Philippines, if you're going to be here long term, GCash. Get the GCash app. Now you'll need a Philippine phone number. So if you've got that SIM card with that Philippine phone number, that's going to help. So you can use that phone number to register for GCash. The only issues with GCash, now GCash is great because you can load money on it. It's like an online debit. It's like a cardless debit, and you can actually get a debit card to go with your GCash. But what you can do is if you're at a restaurant or the mall getting something in retail, you can use your GCash to pay. If you're using your Grab to go somewhere, you can use GCash to pay that. So it's very handy to have. A lot of people here in the Philippines use it. It's actually good in many Asian countries. So I would get that app. Now, there's 2 drawbacks with that GCash app. One of them is the verification time. It took me over 2 months to get verified so I can use the GCash app. Over 2 months. And I was really getting frustrated. I went to Globe, which is the phone company, one of the phone companies here, but they're the ones that are part of GCash, or GCash is part of Globe. So I was finally able to get verified. There's a multi-step process to do that. This is, by the way, this will take you right to Bellagio. That's Bellagio right there. One of the towers. There's another one there. But we're going to go to the end. So getting verified, a lot of processes. You have to download your identification. You have to verify your phone number. There's a lot of things involved. It's been 2 years since I did all this, but I will tell you it's not an easy process. But once you get it, it's kind of nice. The other downside with GCash is sometimes it just doesn't work. So my advice is always carry cash as a backup. If you're planning on using GCash when you're out and about, if you go to a restaurant and you want to pay the tab and you use GCash, sometimes they'll say, "Oh, sorry, sir, unavailable, it's offline." So you got to bring cash with you or use another credit card. But sometimes their whole system is offline, so even the credit cards won't work. And when you're in bigger cities like Metro Manila here in BGC, most places will take your credit card or your debit card. Most all places will take GCash when it's online. But just be ready. I don't like using my credit card or my debit card unless I absolutely have to. I try to get cash, so I've got cash available anytime I need it. Cash is still king here in the Philippines, so just make sure you carry some as a backup. Hello. Carry some as a backup. That way you've got it in case you need it or in case you want to use it. So that's number 7. Number 8 of things to do when you land here in the Philippines is get out and meet people. If you're kind of a loner where you're from and you rely strictly on family and you come out here and you're not with family anymore, you may have kind of a hard time adjusting, so to speak, because if you're a loner, you're really gonna feel alone here, because most of the people you come across aren't going to be from your country. So if you're from America, you're not going to see a lot of Americans here. If you're from Australia, same thing. If you're from the UK, anywhere in Europe, any Western country, you're going to see a lot of Asians here. Obviously, a lot of Filipino. When you're in the bigger cities like Makati and BGC here, you'll see a lot of Koreans, a lot of Japanese, a lot of Chinese, along with Filipino. And then you'll see a mix of some Westerners. But get out and meet people. You know, if you if you like going out and having a drink every once in a while, and go to a bar where you sit at the bar and strike up a conversation with the guy or girl next to you. You don't have to drink alcohol. You just get a lemonade. I mean, they've got places here that has bottomless lemonade. So you pay 100 peso, which is under $2, and you can drink lemonade all afternoon. But whatever your drink of choice it might be, just go somewhere where you can strike up a conversation with someone. That's what I did when I first moved here. I went to a bar and struck up a conversation with a friendly guy, and he was from Canada, and we got to talking, and we figured out he lived right below me in the same condo tower, the same room, but one floor below me exactly. So that was kind of weird, but we're still friends today, and I still see him on occasion, so we still share a drink together every once in a while. But what I will tell you is just get out there and meet people. Don't be afraid to meet people, because if you don't, you're going to be a lonely person. It's going to drain you. It's going to really wear on you, and depression will set in because you're going to be lonely, and then you're going to fall back on vices that you don't want. So just be aware of that. Get out and meet people. Different ways to do that. If you're not into the bar scene, which is fine, you can go join social clubs. There's a ton of social clubs. If you like sports like golf, maybe, or maybe you want to pick up the game of pickleball, which is very popular here, or maybe you play tennis, or maybe not a sport, but maybe like an activity like a book reading club, or a chess or checker club, or backgammon, or something like that. There's all kinds of groups, and when you're in large cities like Metro Manila, you're going to find those groups. Just go to Facebook and do a search on groups in hobbies and areas that you like, and then join those groups, and you're going to meet people. Go to church, meet people at church. There's tons of churches here. This is a 90% Christian population, mostly Catholic. So you're going to find, if you go to churches, you're going to find a lot of opportunities to meet people. And don't be afraid to say hi to people when you walk by too. I love when people say hi, and I say hi to people. That's one of the things I really like about the Philippines, is most people are very friendly. So don't be afraid to say hello as you walk by someone. Don't be so quick to just walk to your destination and keep your head down, and don't be such an introvert. Try to open up a little bit. There's a whole world out there for you to discover here in the Philippines, and it's a wonderful, friendly world. So those are some of the things. Another thing is a networking group. That's a great way to meet people, especially if you're a professional. Say you're a digital nomad, or you're working remotely, and you're planted here in the Philippines, but you still want to meet people. You can do that. It's very simple. Really easy. You just join a networking group. And the one I would really suggest that's been really good for me is Internations. Internations, and you can look it up online. They're a worldwide networking, professional networking group. And I joined when I was living in Dallas, Texas. I joined the Dallas chapter. And then when I moved here to the Philippines, I transferred my membership to Manila. And I was an Albatross member. And what I would do is they would have functions and events every week. Hello. Every week they would have at least one event, usually on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, sometimes every night. But they have all these events, and There are networking opportunities to meet people that live here in Metro Manila, but are from all over the world. Hello. I've gotten to meet Filipina that work here, that are part of Internations. I've gotten to meet people from all countries. I mean, Indonesia, Japan, Singapore, France, Germany, Holland, the UK, Australia. I mean, everywhere you can think of, and of course the U.S. There's a lot of Internations members in the U.S. too. But the way they work is you have these events and you show up, and they're usually at a bar or restaurant, and it's usually after hours, so it's like 6:30 to 8:30 or something like that, and you just network and meet these people. Hello. And they're usually they set you up with a couple of drinks. You have to pay, maybe 1,000 pesos, so it's not cheap by any means, but you pay a little bit, and then you get to network. And if you are a career person, networking is very important here in Metro Manila, especially if you're new here. You want to network with as many people as you can. So you go there and you have your 2 hours of networking, and you exchange business cards and phone numbers, whatever the case may be. But usually after the event, there's a group of them, small group, that usually sets up what's called an after hours party. And so they'll go to a nearby club or another bar or something like that, and you just go there, and that becomes more social than business networking. So it ends up being a kind of a fun way to meet people, and it's really a nice atmosphere and really nice. The people are super kind and super neat. So it's one of those things that I would definitely suggest that you join a networking group and maybe a social group. Some of the networking groups meet on a Sunday morning breakfast group. There's women's groups, so I know I have about 25% female. Hello. I have about 25% female subscribers. So for those of you that are watching this, hello, how are you? This is one of our hangouts. Fiery style. This is where you get the bucket. 6 beers for 400 peso. We're in Forbes-town right now, and it's Saturday afternoon, so things are starting to happen. It's becoming lively. And finally, number 9 on the list, and that's dating. You knew that was coming. So dating, if that's something you're looking to do, the Philippines is a great place to do it. You can find, if you're a guy looking for a Filipina, dating sites are one option. You can, a couple of them I know of is Pina Love, Christian Filipina. You can do the universal standbys, which is Tinder and Bumble, things like that, because you can put the location here in the Philippines. But just be aware. Go in with your eyes wide open, because there may be a lot of scammers on there, a lot of transactional women looking for that transaction. It seems like that the streetwalkers, the freelancers of yesterday are now the girls on the dating sites today. And but if you're looking for a transactional, you can find that here easily. That's something you want. If you're looking for romance and long-term, you can find that too. Just be careful with the dating sites. Another place that might work for you is Facebook. And I'll tell you, they have a dating page on Facebook. I've never been on it. I've heard mixed reviews, but here's what I would do. You know, when you're scrolling on your Facebook and you come across that page where it says people you may know, you might see, if you're in the Philippines, you're going to see a lot of Filipina Facebook pages on that page, on that group. And if you see a girl, check out the profile. If she looks legit, I'll reach out to her through Messenger. Just say hi. Just say, hey, I saw your profile on my Facebook page. Thought I'd reach out. Maybe we know, maybe we know the same people, you know, whatever, however you want to start that conversation. If she replies, then boom, then you got a conversation started and you can move to the next level. But that's some ways. And then, like I said, just get out and meet people and don't be afraid to say hello. And before I met Jen, some of the best ways I found to meet people was just saying hello to a pretty Filipina when she walked by. And if she said hi and you kind of walk by, and you can turn around, and if she turns around and look at you, there's your open door, guys. Go back and start a conversation and exchange numbers or exchange Messenger, and then you can move from there. You know, a lot of times these Filipino, they like to be courted, so they're not necessarily going to, they may not give you their number right off the bat. They may give you their Messenger, but they may not give you their number. And if they do, you ask them out right away, they may say no. They like that cat and mouse game. They like to be chased a little. So just be patient and be persuasive and be persistent. Not to a point of being stalker, but you can be persistent. If they're not responding after about the third attempt, then it might be time to move on. But if they do respond when you message them, you know, that's a good sign. You might be in luck, in other words. So, but those are my top 9 things to do. Put in the comments below if there's anything I missed, and make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting close to 8,000 subscribers, which is awesome. If you missed the video on the 13 things to do before you leave the Philippines, check out the corner here and check that video out. And then dating in the Philippines is the one done. As always, mabuhay, my friend. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.